Trump meets Andy Ngo. What a name that is. As Antifa
I think it's Andy No. It's how it's pronounced.
Ngo.
It's no.
Ngo.
The G is silent in his name.
Ngo.
Whatever.
Ngo. Trump meets Andy Ngo as Antifa is designated a terror group. Now, I'll provide a little bit of context for this while Dash shares his screen about this. Andy Ngo was one of the first activists, for lack of a better term, to really expose the modern American version of Antifa, and he got repaid for that by getting the shit kicked out of him in 2018, 2019 in Portland, Oregon, which is really the capital of America's Antifa. Now, the origins of Antifa go back to the Weimar Republic, now known as Germany, in which Antifa were the militant communist wing of the German Communist Party during the Weimar Republic, and ever since it has become an international left-wing group. It's popped up here and there across many countries, but its modern equivalent has made itself well known in the United States for over a decade now. And if you stand in their way, they'll kick the shit out of you. And if you outnumber them, they'll scream victim and call on the authorities to crush you, like they did with the Proud Boys. But I know this clip is about 6 minutes long, and I don't want to grind through that clip, folks. But what you can see here, you can see Andy Ngo, which is how I say it, because that's his name. That's how he spells it. If you don't say it, if you see it, you're not English or English speaking. Considering he looks like a right country, he probably isn't English. But in all seriousness, folks, right here, right now, this is getting the American president's attention. And that's why it's quite clear we are in the final steps of this dangerous group, or series of groups, because they have multiple chapters, becoming a designated terrorist organization, right? Antifa in America should be treated like Al-Qaeda, like the Taliban, like other terrorist groups throughout the world, okay?
Absolutely.
Yep. They need to be dealt with like that. And how did America deal with Al-Qaeda and the Taliban? They invaded, they attacked, they wiped out whole scores of people, they carpet-bombed communities, they used drone strikes. Remember what Obama was famous for? With his drone striking of terrorists and their families? Right? That's what's needed to deal with the Antifa terror group if you're going to wipe it out, okay? Because if you don't do that, they'll just wait you out. They'll wait out Trump. They'll wait out Vance. Eventually, the Democrats or their successors will get their acts together. And then when there's a Democrat administration, they will blossom and bloom and have their Vietnam moment. We beat evil Orange Man. Now we're going to take over the country and destroy the maggots and designate them terrorists and use drone strikes against them. Your guns don't beat our drone strike, buddy.
I'm gonna play some of the clip. I fast forward past, like, he mostly just recounted his life story.
And was chased through the streets of downtown. And I think the DOJ could look at federal conspiracy charges. The state of California and San Diego County last year broke up an Antifa cell in San Diego. And I think maybe perhaps the State Department should designate Antifa its international arm as a foreign terrorist organization, FTO. So thank you so much for this invitation, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Great.
Now, the consequences of doing that, folks, of designating Antifa as a terrorist organization internationally, the consequences of that are massive, especially for Europe, because Antifa have a lot of connections with various far-left bodies in especially the European Union. And because of how the Europeans' democratic system works, is all based on coalition building. So usually the center left would work with the far left to form a government. So that'll put them in a real difficult position. Okay, the last thing European leaders want is a far left organization being considered a terrorist organization, especially internationally. They'll be in like a rock and a hard place situation, because if they follow suit with Trump and the US, shit gonna go down real quick, because there are millions upon millions of people who support the far left in European countries, and they are not afraid to get out on the street, do what needs to be done to push their policies through. They're not quite at the Charlie Kirk assassin level yet, but they're the kind of people where if you back them into a corner, they will rapidly go after you. And we're not talking about a few radicals here. We're talking about millions of people in Europe who support far left policies. Okay. But let's get panel perspectives real quick now that I've provided some context for our mostly American panel. You think you've got a problem with the far left? Damn. Let's get Dash's thoughts first.
All right, yeah. So I've followed this guy. He's been an excellent reporter. He has gotten his ass kicked, hospitalized several times, and he actually was saying he used to be a progressive guy. He's gay immigrant and stuff. But literally, he saw what the left was becoming, and then that just red pilled him completely. And how does the left reward him? They don't protect him. They almost kill him. And so the fact that he is now speaking to the president of the United States, sharing his research into Antifa, and I think you're absolutely right, Digny. I think this is the first steps of really criminalizing that entire network.
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just telling folks to like the stream and donate if they can. But I will point out right here, right now, that the big problem we have, the reason why the culture war is endless, folks, is because the problem is our opponents are in the institutions. And the one thing the right doesn't like doing is tearing down institutions. It's their Achilles heel, okay? Conservatives conserve. They're the last people who destroy institutions. It's usually the left, the socialists, who want to tear down institutions, rebuild them anew as part of their glorious ideal, that sort of thing. But the left realize we can't beat America in a straight-up battle. They tried that with the Soviet Union. It didn't work, okay? So the long march through the institutions will infest education, will infest media, will infest the political establishment, and shift the Overton window. And we all know this. Trump is a 90s Democrat. The left has done more to shift the Overton window in the United States of America over the past 60 years than any other political group in human history, right? To the point where we're debating, do women have penises? It's like, what are we doing? Why are we giving ground to people who think this way? That's why I say with Dash and the various furries and cartoons that he knows, who are, to use an example, femboy fascists. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a contradiction in terms. You can't be a femboy.
Well, Damien is a weird guy. I mean,
there are a lot of weird people in our world, and I thank the left for that, because they twisted reality so much.
Here's a classic meme about it, Digny.
Go on.
I've got it.
Damn.
I'm a conservative. I agree with slightly diluted versions of everything the far left pushes for, until they push the Overton window even further left. Then I start agreeing with their original positions. I'm against trans teens until the left pushes for trans toddlers. Then the trans teens seem pretty reasonable. It's called having principles.
I'm telling you this, folks. I was so happy when John McCain died. but then he reanimated as this cunt.
Yeah, he did, and I hated that. Hated that a lot.
I do not like Dan Crenshaw.
Right here, right now.
Like him when he first came on the scene, and then, like, I don't know, he is a cuck, man.
But breaking news, guys, Dash likes a man. But in all seriousness, I don't care how many nuclear weapons Iran has. I'm not sending good people to die in another endless war. And Iran is no Iraq. Iran is no Afghanistan. It is a massive country with a far bigger population. If you think Afghanistan and Iraq were like herding cats, you have no idea what you're going to get yourself into if you go into a conflict with Iran, okay? Especially if you try to control that country. It'd be like taking over Russia. It's so massive with such a massive population. You're not going to be able to hold that. But I will point out right here, right now, that Antifa, if they are designated a terrorist organization in the United States, that's going to open up a can of worms, man. It might get to the point where this president may order drone strikes within the United States to take out Antifa facilities. And if you think there isn't a precedent for that, it was a precedent set by the Obama administration to utilize drone strikes against terrorists, both within and outside the borders of the United States. They never done it inside because there were no internal terrorists, but there are now. We're going